Hi, it's Nick Shell, the internet receding hairline guy. I suppose this is a little bit of a follow-up to the last 10-minute video that I just did that I thank you for watching, as I sort of sorted out some things about why would I still be confident even if I'm losing my hair and that sort of thing, and why would we not be confident, all that good stuff. So sort of a follow-up to that video is this. My question would be, is there shame in going bald? And if that is true, why is there shame in going bald? I'm just going to simply probably entitle this video, Shame in Going Bald. And here's where I got that title from. I don't think I've ever shared this story. I'm going back to the year 2000 and, I guess it was like 2002, 2003. And I was in college at Liberty University. Ever heard of it? That's where I went to school and got my English degree. And while there, I worked at what was called the Student Center. And at the Student Center, basically we made smoothies for everybody, you know, like it was on weeknights and during the weekends, you get smoothies, you could play Xbox, whatever. We were in charge of dispersing all the information and running the store and all that good stuff. So it was a lot of fun. Did that for a couple years. And during that time, there was this girl, her name might have been Elena, I don't know, let's just call her that. Alyssa, hey, that was her name, I remember. And she was the girl that obviously, you know, made every guy drool. She was that. She looked exotic. She was from Hawaii and just part Filipino and all that. So she was the girl that like was just too good for anybody, you know. But she didn't act that way. The thing was, she was really nice and down to earth. Okay, I can't let the wind interrupt the story because I'm not a victim, I'm a victor. If I have to run to that tree over there, I will. And so this must have been around the time I started noticing, okay, yeah, my hairline's starting to go up a little bit. And somehow this came up in conversation. It was a couple of us guys, and I think her, talking about this. It was a slow time. No one was getting Xboxes that Friday night or whatever it was. And she participated in the conversation by saying, there's no shame in going bald. My dad's bald, he just shaves his head. She's like, seriously, why do guys worry about that? There's no shame in going bald. End of story. So, as you know, my wife reiterated the same story, the same concept. She's almost just confused on why do guys care about this. There's no shame in going bald. That's the concept that I'm presenting to you. And we hear that, and see, it stuck with me, obviously. That was, I mean, how many years ago was that? I mean, see, I graduated in, I'd say 2004. Okay, so that's like 12 years ago, right? And this story has stuck with me. Here, we're gonna go this way, it's a little bit less windy. That story has stuck with me for over a dozen years. Do you hear that brontosaurus in the back? And so, I'm just trying to ask myself and ask us, is there shame in going bald? Is there shame in baldness? And I don't know how to honestly answer that question. Because if I say yes, and I say, yeah, it's a shameful thing to go bald. It's a shameful thing to have a receding hairline and to see your hair thin out. If I were to say that it is shameful, then we have to ask, well, why is it shameful? Because it's something you can't control. It's natural. And ultimately, if you do try to control it, then for me personally, it would make me feel like some kind of like, you know how like, obviously movie stars get plastic surgery done to look younger. And to me, like fundamentally, I just can't process physically altering your body to make it look like you didn't age, I guess. So it's a struggle for me. So to say that there's no shame in it, that would actually make more sense. And I want to believe that. And perhaps that's a lot of my motivation for making these videos is really, I don't know, you probably know better than I do. Can I say that from my heart? Can I mean it? Because I want to. I want to be able to say there is no shame in going bald. That's what I want to say. Can I say that truthfully? Because I fundamentally believe it, but there's still part of me. I mean, obviously, if you have the choice to have hair or don't, you're going to choose to be able to grow hair. Even if you just shaved your head all the time and you had a full head of hair, still, you'd want the option. But I think it's an interesting psychological perspective to say, is there shame in going bald? I think if you ask females that about guys, they're gonna say, no, it's not shameful. It's not a shameful thing. For a guy, it is. But ultimately, again, why is it shame? If we can't prevent it, and if we have to do artificial things, or even be a slave to Rogaine to keep from going bald, why would it be shameful? So I'm gonna end with that question. What shame is there in going bald? Now, before I end on that question, I've got to point out the obvious. What I'm not talking about is the Dr. Phil or the Prince William or whatever he is. The guy that, you know, we're not talking about someone who's basically lost everything on top and they're still growing out the sides. We're not talking about that, okay? We're talking instead about, as you lose it, you shave it. You accept it, you embrace it. Because to me, like my wife and I were talking about Kevin from The Office. He has that going on. He's got thick hair on the sides and really none on top. And Jill said to me, she said, okay, obviously, she says, tell your readers that. Obviously, they don't want to look like Kevin from The Office. Just shave your head at that point, it's fine. But don't grow it out if you've got none on top either. So we're not talking about that. I know that's a whole different story. So let's stay on board with my actual question. Why is there shame in balding? Why is there shame in going bald? Because again, if you do go bald, you shave it off, and that's it. Or if you are on the other side of the fence and you believe in doing something to cure it, and that's what you do. Why is there shame in going bald? I want to know, because I'm actually trying to sort this out myself. You have to leave a comment. You owe it to me. Well, because I was about to say, I spent 7 minutes making this video, but you spent 7 minutes watching it, so really, I owe you, don't I? But hey, help me out. Because I want to be able to say that there's no shame in going bald, and I want to believe that in my heart, because I think that I do, but I'm wrestling with doubts. You can help me, and maybe I can help you in the process. Leave a comment, let's sort this out.